The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of ass blasting. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking Tremors 3. Back to, what the fuck is this town called?
Perfection.
Perfection. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast. We're talking Tremors this week, and this is the third movie in this week's lineup. Oh, it's a hell of a movie.
I gotta go ass blast something.
God, whose idea was that?
Who the fuck thought we're gonna call them ass blasters? I'm sorry, I'm going there. All right, it's just crazy.
What's up, Vader?
I'm good.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm like,
You're getting ass blasted.
I'm getting ass blasted right now. It's just, it's like literally.
It is.
It's like I came to work a little cranky today, and
You did? I didn't know.
I know and it's just, I think I'm there.
You're finally loosening
I
up.
think I'm fucked up. I think I'm
I think we're alone.
Jude is also here.
yeah.
Wait. Hello.
Hello.
I think I need some hard AF salsa or something. Salsa?
Seltzer.
Seltzer. Yeah.
All right.
You're
We'll come.
having a stroke.
We'll come back to Vader in a minute. Kadish is also here. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, so you can't have Tremors week without doing the trifecta, which is basically these first three Tremors movies kind of all go together. And this one, we return to the original town Perfection with all the original cast members, minus Kevin Bacon and Reba McEntire from
And Walter,
the first one.
R.I.P.
And Walter, yeah. But we get his niece. And I actually, I'm going to admit to you guys, this is my second favorite Tremors movie.
Mine too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like this one better than the second one.
I did too.
You know why? I'll just tell you why. Because they embraced the camp.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
They embraced the badness of it with this movie.
and they made Burt the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Spoiler ahead. I got really annoyed by the third one. I watched them in order. By the third one, I was really over Tremors week. But the thing that bothered me the most was that they doubled down on the evolution. And by the time we got to the ass blasters, I was just like, fuck off, movie.
I know,
But
right?
I appreciated that we were back in Perfection. I appreciated the embrace of, we know what kind of movie we're making. And I appreciated, we've got, like the little girl in the first one, she's back, but now she's like in her 20s. And I liked that. All the little callbacks to the first one is what made this, I don't know if I would call it a success, but it was more successful definitely than the second installment.
It's almost like Back to Perfection has some kind of a hidden meaning for this movie. Real quick,
Backdoor monsters.
our friends in the chat, the Tremors saga, there's one thing I want to say before we get into Jude's synopsis. It says, the only thing we need to say is that the name Ass Blasters is a dig at the MPAA. After they forced all of the swearing out of the first movie, Brent thought it would be funny to come up with a name that would make it possible for children to swear with impunity.
Yeah.
And this is the only Tremors movie in the saga rated PG,
Yeah.
despite all the ass
Really? It's
blasting.
PG?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
All the ass blasting in this movie.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll get right back into Jude's synopsis. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you guys like what we do here and you want to help support us, go to saltynerd.com/DC and download a mobile game called Dragon Champions. It's a really fun, easy to play mobile game where you get to collect your heroes, upgrade them, go on the war path, and join Mr. Kadish and Matt Vader over here. They're both Masterclass level 80 Dragon Champions. And we also have a guild that is set up from one of our patrons, JT. So if you type in Salty in the promo code area, you get access to a little bit of a leg up against the competition. It helps you get to level 20. Once you get to level 20, join our guild and you can go on the war path with these great players over here. That's saltynerd.com/DC for Dragon Champions on both Apple and Android. All right, Tremors 3, Back to Perfection. Jude, take it away.
You got it. 2001 Tremors 3, Back to Perfection. Rated PG with a runtime of 1 hour, 44 minutes. Again, this had no box office. Do you want to guess what the budget was?
Real quick note, Jurassic Park 3 came out in 2001 as well.
Uh-huh.
That's funny.
Coincidence?
Coincidence?
I think
not.
I want a bullhorn right now. What was that kid's name?
Eric.
Eric.
Will somebody tell her that's not a good idea? What's not a good idea?
Fucking most annoying movie.
Take it away, Jim.
I'm upset that I'm still thinking about it.
Box office or budget, right? We're doing budget.
Box office.
Budget. What do you think this was made for?
It's probably less than the second one. I don't know, $4 million.
Okay.
$2 million.
This movie had a budget of $6 million.
What?
And no box office.
That's wild.
Straight to video. How do studios justify that? Like, we're going to spend $6 million in this
They're
movie.
going to sell it to Netflix or whatever.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess they're...
Well, they knew how much the sequel to Tremors made, and so they based their budget based off of what they could expect another Tremors movie to make. So I think Tremors 2 actually did really well in home video, and so they were like, oh, we'll up the budget a little bit because we can expect to make X amount of money off of this.
Cool.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. Burt Gummer is a famous graboid hunter still living in Perfection, Nevada. He's bumped up security on his compound and encourages the townsfolk to stay vigilant, even though it's been years since the last graboid grabbed anyone. Jack Sawyer is an opportunist who makes his living scamming thrill seekers on his desert tours through fake graboid-infested terrain. When it turns out that graboid tour wasn't fake at all, he teams up with Burt to rid the town of the monsters who can now fly. Unfortunately, the Graboids, Shriekers, and assblasters are under the protection of the government as endangered species and block Burt from exterminating the creatures, so Burt will have to get creative with his plan of extinction.
I love how Perfection the town just leans hard into the monetization of this like tragedy that happened to them. And it reminds me of like every town between here and San Bernardino.
Yes.
Where they all have their little gimmick that they just lean really hard on.
Get your alien jerky.
Yeah, get your alien jerky.
Come get your graboid jerky.
Come check out the world's biggest thermometer.
It's like any place out in the desert within 50 miles of Area 51, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's so accurate because like we live out here and we travel around and it's like
There's some weird little...
There's a fucking
spots.
town just like this out
You
there.
know what? We should make a pod trip out to Area 51.
We should.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
The mailbox
I
is
drove
gone.
out once years ago, and I was so disappointed. It was just like a shack that served burgers and had like stuff you could buy on the wall, like posters. I was like, oh, this place sucks, but I bet it's better now.
I want to drive up right up to the gate and make them motherfuckers drive off the hill. And come
You
down
do,
and
that's
check
They
it
will
out.
shoot you. No, I have a friend that
Not if I'm on my side of the fence.
No,
I'm not.
I have a friend who works security in like that general area, and he's like, yeah, no, don't fuck around. It's
like,
they
neener,
will
neener.
shoot you.
I'm on my side of the cattle grate. You
You
can't do shit.
ever seen those?
I would not poke
be
that
all-
bear.
That's what I'd be doing.
Great, now you're on a list.
Waving my finger at him.
You ever seen those videos of the guys that go to the British like palaces or whatever
And fuck with the guards.
and fuck with the guards and the
That's
guards?
horrible.
That's Vader.
I know.
He's that ridiculous freaking.
You're gonna smile, motherfucker.
He's
That's
that
what you're gonna do.
He's that younger sibling taunting his older sibling.
Yeah.
Who the parents have already yelled at. And he's like, you can't do shit.
I take a chair or a bench. I just sit right in front of the dude and just like tell him dad jokes all day long.
I fucking pay you to do that shit, dude.
That'd be hilarious.
We've released that on YouTube.
Yeah, now we have to film that.
That'd be hilarious.
we could just like play like a
Dad joke chicken.
Dad joke chicken for like right in front of them.
That's so terrible.
We gotta do that again someday.
Oh my God, Kate is just gonna write that now as a skit.
Anyway, this movie, I'm with Kadish. I like this one better than the second
It's
one.
better. I like it better than the second one.
It's a lot more fun. It embraces the camp,
Not a lot. Not a lot better, but it's better.
Well, all right,
Oh yeah, it's not a lot,
it's more fun.
but there are things in it that make it kind of nostalgic to the first one. And if you love the first one, I understand why you like this one.
Yeah,
There are also things that really irk me about this, like the government being like, they're an endangered species. Fuck off.
I hate the government.
Yeah.
Fucking government.
Yeah.
think they
And
wouldn't do
honestly,
that?
honestly, I hate the evolution. I wanted it to just be graboids. And I was like, when we got to the third one, I was like, does every movie have an evolution? And Kadish was like, no, this is the last one. And I was like, still stupid though.
it kind of is.
Yeah.
What would be the fourth evolution?
Let's see. So they go
Underwater?
They actually get eyeballs. I don't know.
Yeah, they can see.
They can talk.
Maybe they turn into
Oh my God.
talking
The
ones.
crossover between this and C. David Hewlett, here we come, baby.
No,
Yeah, because everyone relies on sound, they can avoid the graboids. Yeah.
My God. No, I was thinking there's got to be some kind of a connection to the Predators from the Predator movies.
Oh, okay.
Like that's their final evolution, right? The Graboids go from worms to the assblasters or whatever, and then they Shriekers to assblasters, and then they go and they form like a fully formed predator because they still see in like heat vision or whatever.
And then they build a pyramid.
Yes, and then they hunt xenomorphs.
Sounds like a Paul Stinky Anderson movie.
Great.
You think we could get
that dude always gets a budget.
Right.
Kadish would love it.
I know, right?
It'd be like his favorite movie ever.
Graboids versus Sharknado.
No.
That is something I would watch.
I've never seen Sharknado. What if there's a dust devil in one of the movies and the Graboids get sucked up into the air and they're like flying
That
around?
happens in Sharknado.
Blastnado.
Oh God. I love this dude who has like the fake ass safari thing.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
He's funny. And I love that it's fake.
Yeah.
And
so it's Desert Jack Sawyer is his name.
What is it? What does he say? Jack Sawyer guaranteed to get you back? Or, my name is Jack and I'm guaranteed to get you back or something like that.
Yeah.
It's some goofy catchphrase that he has. But I love that he plays into this like everything's fake, it's all nonsense, and he's using it to sell water bottles and shit to people. Like, oh, it's red. He's got a script, and he's like, man, it's really hot out here. Would anybody like a beer?
Oh dear, there's a graboid over there. Better get on this rock. Good thing I have refreshments for $5 a piece.
Yeah, I love it.
And he's not even paying for his ice. He's scamming that lady too.
Jude, do you remember that happened to us in New Orleans, where like our walking tour guide took us out in the heat and then started selling us water bottles?
It was June in New Orleans.
he's like, just $8 for this cold bottle of water.
Yeah, and then like literally we walked across the street as part of the tour, and it was like to a refreshment stand or like building who actually had like air conditioning and water and restrooms, and we were like, God damn it, he got us.
I'm actually going to New Orleans in December for a week.
That's a great time to go.
I'm going to remember this, so I'm going to have to take my own water bottles.
See if you can find that guy. Have you ever seen Tremors 3?
I can tell you where to find him and who he is. I still remember.
Bringing my own bottle of water.
What was his name? Nate?
That shit's funny.
Come see, come saw.
I'm gonna go see some gators. I'm gonna go on a swamp tour. I'm gonna go see some tombstones.
You'll see Anne Rice's mansion.
And see some fucking beignets.
But it is funny that perfection basically becomes like a tourist trap for people who like are out there interested in graboids. And it's been 11 years since the initial events of the first movie, and everyone thinks that the graboids are extinct from Perfection Valley, but then they start coming back. And all the people who are kind of like trying to build up a business around like graboid tourism are now freaked out because they actually have to deal with them. And I think because everyone hated the Shriekers from the second movie, they added in this new evolution going into the like the ass blasting era.
They went worse. They didn't go back. They went worse.
Yeah, and it's funny because like as they're trying to figure out what to call this third incarnation of the graboids, Jody, who is the niece of Walter, who died in the first one, she comes up with the idea of ass blasters, and
because they use gas
to
like basically get up into the
I'm watching
and Michael Gross, Burt, basically says like, sounds like a porno to me.
Yeah. I love that they embrace that too. He just says that.
Blaster 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it's just
now on DVD.
He's like, I have that series. It's in my bunker. That was the moment where I kind of like just put my hand in my head. I was like, okay, we got to embrace the camp on this. Is where like the graboid comes out and it's got wings now, and it's like, then it like flies up into the air, and I was like,
oh, good fart jokes.
Yeah, like great. Let's
his favorite.
How much freaking lower can we go?
We get Melvin back.
Oh, Melvin comes back.
The shitty kid from the shitty kind of teenage kid from the first one.
You know what's funny is I didn't mention this because I forgot
Turns
about
out
it.
he's still shitty.
I hated him in the first movie.
Yeah,
He was
everybody did.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and he's still kind of an asshole.
He's still a piece of shit. Continuity.
It's so funny.
The thing I really like about this movie is they get all the original actors to come back and reprise their role.
Yeah.
But the thing about Melvin that gets me is like, so basically Melvin's storyline in this is that he's going around, he's trying to buy up all the land in perfection so that he can develop like an actual like community there, like housing and stuff like that. And everyone treats him like he's like evil for like wanting to give them lots of money so he can like build like a suburb here. And I didn't get it. I was like,
Well, it's because
nobody
you're
likes-
a money-hungry, unethical person, and
Yeah.
you understand that.
Nobody likes unethical, evil land developers.
It gets the Kadish piece of shit stamp of approval.
I don't get it. He's just trying to make a dime.
but what's unethical about paying people above market value for their
Nothing.
land so that they can develop on it?
You are not wrong, sir.
What's funny
The
is
narrative of the story is that Melvin is a piece of shit, and that is something I can get on board with.
what I find amusing about it is if you live here in Las Vegas, in the Las Vegas Henderson area, you can go to the edge of all corners of this valley and you can see this happening. It's really kind of funny. Like where I live down in the Inspirada area, I rent down there, but it's all brand new. But right in the middle of all of this brand new land development, building and excavation that's going on, there's that one stubborn asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, I'm not selling, and he's right in the middle.
And fuck your HOA too.
It's hilarious
Well-
because he's got this house that he built probably back in the 1960s.
He's grandfathered in.
And he's not fucking selling. And it's like, nope, I'm not going. And it's funny. It's
Unless
really
I woke
funny.
up in Russia this morning, this is still America.
And in 18 months from now, he's going to wake up and he's going to be surrounded on all four
The
sides.
old man from Up.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be surrounded on all four sides by modern development with
Better
houses
start
built
stocking up on helium.
3 feet apart from each other, and you know, it's
See, that's the problem.
and he's going to hate it, and he's not going to be able to get what he
Well-
could get now for his property.
Well, you know what's funny is so like there was like an old like animal preserve and ranch, like Old West Ranch thing down in the Red Rock area, and
Oh, the Springs Preserve?
yeah, and basically like you could go there and they would do like Wild West shows, and it was like a
Bonnie
like,
Springs.
Bonnie Springs, exactly, Bonnie Springs Ranch.
I love
Yeah,
Bonnie
yeah,
Springs,
And they had like a cool little restaurant there, and they had like a petting zoo and all this stuff. And it was like a really cool like place for like locals and tourists to go to kind of like hang out and see
We
like
went every year. We loved it.
yeah, and see like the Old West
Yeah,
like time frame
they had
of
like the Old
Nevada.
West shows and they had the
Yeah.
train.
Yeah.
And then they got bought out by a real estate developer who's
Yeah.
tearing it down
Oh,
to build
no.
up to
The
build
building
an
and-
apartment
They had to
complex.
like
No.
they had to
It's-
move all of the animals that were
No,
there.
it's not an apartment complex. It's an elite, high-end,
gated community.
gated community for the super rich.
Oh, fuck them.
Yeah, it's gone. Bonnie Springs is gone.
So that's basically
Yeah.
what Melvin wanted to
Yeah.
do for Paradise Valley.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Bonnie Springs.
yeah, it was fun.
They had like an outdoor theater. You can go and
Yeah,
like, watch movies and
with,
shit.
with an old school, old timey
Yeah.
outlaws. and-
Yeah, I feel like taking
Yeah.
something like a nature preserve and turning it into an elite housing
Yeah.
unit for the rich of the rich is like the height of like big game hunters.
And it's
You know,
like
like I got all kinds of money. What can I kill?
it's like
Nature.
I don't have a huge problem.
All of nature.
I don't hate people for being rich. I wish I was one of them. But there's another part of me in my brain that goes, man, I hope they don't sell a fucking single lot.
Well, it's a beautiful. That's the thing. Is
because
like
they just like destroyed that.
it's
out
freaking
there.
beautiful right there, dude. With the
Yeah.
mountains right next to you,
Yeah.
and Red
Yeah.
Rock right there.
It's awesome.
It's an awesome
But
place. So
it's not where you build a freaking high end.
ugh,
Yeah.
that makes me feel dirty.
A high end community for the fucking Kardashians. Fuck
You know where they should build that is where the fucking the Charleston cabin burned down. Like make something actually nice
Yeah,
there.
do
was
that.
like,
That place was ramshackle.
Yeah.
But we would go all the time because it was like Christmassy and
Yeah, yeah.
mountainy and pretty. Shitty service, shitty food. We went every year.
Yeah.
Gross bathrooms.
Yeah, the bathrooms were disgusting. Went every year.
anyway,
We
Tremors
brought our
3.
kids.
Yeah. So the director of Tremors 3, Brent Maddock, he was the co-writer of the first two films. And he finally got his turn at directing a Tremors movie. And what's funny about this is like there was like a lot of unused footage from the first movie of like Graboids underground and stuff like that they repurposed for this film. So most of the stuff that you see of like the Graboids underground or whatever is reused footage from the first movie. And this is also the first time that they use CGI to represent a Graboid.
That's
That
what kills
is
this movie.
horrible.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Like these movies so far have been relying on practical effects, and it kind of sells the campiness, and it also sells people like me. We're like, oh, at least they did practical stuff. Then they did this one, and
The ass blastiness, the CGI is oh my god,
it's atrocious.
so bad.
It's like copy paste
Yeah.
nonsense that they put on there.
Every time they do this thing where the graboid comes out of the ground
Mm-hmm.
and does the thing and stares and it goes back in, It's just really cheesy looking. It's
Yeah.
just-
Well, one of the funny things about the first movie is like they kind of set aside a graboid as one who got one of their tentacles ripped off, and they called him Stumpy in that one. And in this one, we get El Blanco, the albino graboid.
You know, when they did that, I thought they were going to go for like a Moby Dick thing with Brent.
well, that is what they.
Yeah, I don't think they pulled it off though. It didn't come off that way. It was just like, oh, there's like a albino graboid, I guess, but whatever.
And it's sterile, which is one of the reasons why it can't evolve into something else, and it stays that way.
Are albino people sterile?
No,
Is that what they got that from?
A lot of time, albino animals are though.
Albino animals.
really? I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
Well, it's like a genetic
Mutation.
abnormality.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, albino animals are either deaf or blind or both, or sterile. Usually in conjunction with one or the other.
I had no
things
idea.
I just said.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't know why I know that.
That's a weird factoid that Jude knows. What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Graboid sock on. All right. I don't know.
I don't know why, but that looks kind of cute. It's kind of sexy. It's like I get why men like ladies in stockings now. It's doing it for me. Never change.
This podcast is off the rails.
Oh God! Fucking dug into my cheekbone. All right.
Okay.
All right, so
So, you have anything else you want to say about this game?
I want to R.I.P. Miguel. So like Miguel from the first movie comes back, and he gets unceremoniously shoved off a cliff by an ass blaster and dies.
That was horrible.
Yeah, especially after he MacGyvered like a fishing rod to save their
Poor
walkie-talkie. There was actually like a part in here where they were going to have like a big fight with some Shriekers. But because they ran out of money, like their budget didn't allow for it, they basically just said like, oh, we're going to throw a bomb and then we're going to show up and like we're just going to have these like shed husks to necessitate that ass blasters are now the main threat. So we didn't get a whole lot of Shriekers in this one, except for the beginning where we had like a stampede of CGI Shriekers in Argentina.
It's terrible.
Apparently. I think it's weird that like these graboids start appearing like everywhere in South America and nobody gives a fuck. It's like Burt just shows up and shoots them all.
Well, I like this movie doesn't really answer any of these questions, but I always wonder like how do these things get around? Are they just everywhere and people just don't know? Do they travel? Do they migrate? Do they just tunnel under the oceans and go across the
You're
ocean?
not supposed to ask these
So
questions.
one of the interesting things about the fourth movie, which is the one that happens in the Wild West, it's like the prequel, is that they find that there are these like, graboid eggs that are kind of like buried in the ground. And when they get access to warm water, that's what causes them to hatch. And so the idea is that because they're Precambrian, which basically predates the dinosaurs, there are these eggs everywhere on the planet. And when they get warm enough moisture on them through whatever happenstance,
Global warming.
they end up hatching. And so like that accounts for like why they show up. And like, I believe the fifth movie's in South Africa. This one starts off in Argentina. The second one was in Mexico.
Yeah.
So like, they kind of start off in these like hot, like kind of sandy climates. And then in the sixth movie, they go to the Antarctic. Because it's called Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell.
Is Bruce Willis in it?
Oh, I wish.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
So what I did like about this is that Mindy from the first one, she was a young girl. We now get to see her as an adult. She kind of takes over as like the expert.
Yes, she's from Jurassic Park.
She's the pogo girl?
Yeah.
Pogo stick chick?
Yeah.
That girl right there, the blonde.
Yeah, she
Wow.
in the first movie, she was the little girl on the pogo stick who was really good at math, and she was always listening to her headphones and stuff like that.
Okay.
Now, she's dropped out of college because her mom can't afford it, and she's back at Perfection, and she kind of has a few hero moments with fighting the Graboids.
Yeah, but she like, so Burt is like the great hunter, but Mindy is like kind of the expert here, and she's like, okay, throw out your gum, get rid of your keys, don't fucking move. And this is when they like kind of bring back the rules from the first one that they kind of threw out the window in the second one.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that.
Yeah, I like that. They kept saying like, "Didn't you read the comics?"
Yeah.
Like, there's a comic book out there that like spells out all the rules
by Dark Horse Comics. Like, I wish that
That
those
sounds
were.
about right.
I wish that those were real comic books because the covers for them look pretty epic.
Yeah,
They probably are.
But what's funny about all the Tremors movies, one of the things that the writers for the Tremors movies really good at is set up and pay off. Like, they're always really good at like setting stuff up early on and then paying it off later.
Did the same people write all 3 of these?
The first 2 were written by the same guys. This one was written by someone else, but one of the co-writers of the first 2 directed this movie.
Okay.
But at the beginning of the movie, when we're reintroduced to Mindy, she's wearing these pants that have holes in them, and she uses like duct tape to like kind of cover up the holes. And she's like, "Well, it's a fashion statement." And later on in the movie, she starts taking the duct tape off and using it like as utility to help her like escape the assblasters and stuff like that. And so I thought that was just like something clever.
Hey guys, before we polish off this conversation, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you guys want to support us, you guys can head over to saltinerdiscord.com and join our Discord server. It's a growing community. We have over 200 people there right now, and it's a lot of fun. We love having people in there chatting about movies and stuff like that. We do watch parties pretty regularly now, and especially every Monday night, we're watching classic sci-fi. And this coming month, we're watching Buck Rogers or something like that. Is that what you picked for this month?
Hell yeah.
Buck Rogers.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
So if you want to catch Buck Rogers on Monday nights with us, head over to the Discord app, join the server. You're more than welcome. It's open to the public, and we get to watch TV shows like Buck Rogers together.
Don't mock me.
I'm not mocking anything.
It's going to be epic, dude.
All right. Let's polish this conversation up on Tremors 3. I liked it better than the second one, but it's just not, I don't know, man. It's just not there for me.
You know what I liked about this movie?
I could not watch it and be fine.
It embraced the camp. You know what I mean? It was funny because, you know, the scenes where he's like on the tour, the guy has like the fire extinguisher with the dirt in it.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like the rest of the movie.
It's probably how they did it in the first
right.
movie.
And that's what I thought was funny.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's how they did it. And they're making a thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay. It's just, it's a funny thing to me.
You know, the one part of this movie that really bothered me is like, so Burt has been spending years fortifying his bunker against Graboids. He's making it Graboid proof. And for whatever reason, this bunker that was built to withstand a nuclear blast, nuclear fallout, an assblaster can just crash through the roof and wreak havoc inside of it. That to me was a bridge too far. I was like, there's no way that would have happened. Like you can't crash through that bunker's roof.
Flying ass blasters or kamikaze rounds?
I just hate the ass blasters.
I hate the ass blasters too.
I hate everything that's not a graboid.
I hate the fart jokes.
Yep.
Well, you know, I remember
I hate the CGI.
I'm sitting there watching this movie and this new thing comes up and they literally fart fire and then they take off into the air like a rocket.
That's how I do it.
And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
That didn't really just happen, right?
Yeah.
Because their wings are all like, they're like
the little
big.
stubby
They're
wings.
like little stubby wings. I go, they can't fly with those things. How do they get in the air? And then it goes, and it goes, boom, up in the air. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, they asked to answer that question.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh no, this is not good.
They're trying to hide from it. So they're like, well, we have to have something that covers our body heat. So they get like this old, like pissed on mattress out of the middle of the junkyard. And they start carrying it over their head.
There's nothing worse than a desert mattress.
Oh,
because they're real.
Don't touch the desert mattresses, guys.
Desert mattresses are a real thing.
It's a trap.
You're going to be driving down the road, going out to Lake Mead or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, mattress? Nope.
Don't touch it.
That fucking thing. Because it's there for a reason.
Yeah, it is a trap in the Matrix, and once you touch it, you fall through into a new Matrix. Don't do it.
The desert mattress trap is real.
Yeah.
Don't
There's
touch.
weird shit out in the middle of nowhere in the desert. Just leave it alone.
Stay on the roads.
If you see a desert mattress or a desert lounge chair,
Yes.
don't sit in the chair.
So there's different things.
the moors.
I feel like this is like a video game that we have to warn people about. Okay, so there's mattresses, there's chairs, 100% there's chairs.
There's grocery carts.
Refrigerators.
Yes.
Stay the fuck away from the
Don't go
desert
in those.
refrigerators.
Yeah.
And
There's shit in there. Don't open it.
I once found a completely abandoned Ford Taurus.
Yeah.
Just
Walk
in
away.
the middle of nowhere.
Walk away.
It's like people get evicted from their homes. They fill the fucking truck up And they go, I don't know what to do with this stuff. So they drive out into the middle of the desert as far as they think they need to go.
Yeah.
And they dump all their shit on the side of the road and they go home.
Or the car I think was an insurance scam.
Yeah.
Because what they did is they're like, my car got stolen. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
It was out in the middle of
No.
My wife was murdered. Oh, my wife was murdered. I don't know. And then they stole our car.
With the cars, all you got to do is go to North Las Vegas.
And just leave it out.
And get out of your car and go, with your keys, go, hey, jingle, jingle, jingle. And you throw it in the seat. And
it'll be gone.
My car don't jiggle, jiggle.
Your car will be gone in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Tops.
Easy. Yeah.
So one of the funny parts about this movie is that Jack Sawyer, the tour guide guy, he's got kind of like a budding romance going on with Jodie Chang, who runs like the general market. And throughout the movie, he's waxing philosophical about the sky, and it pissed Jude off every single time that he did it.
I thought it was a joke, but the movie took it seriously. He'd be like, Cirrus, Lyris, come for Cirrus, and did you like my poem? And I was like, fuck this movie right now! What the fuck? And then they made the girl in the movie, I forget her name, Chang's niece or
Jodie.
whatever. Then they made her go like, oh, I never thought of it that way. And I was like, oh my God. Stab me in the fucking temple right now. I forgot that I hated that so much. Thank you for making me relive my trauma.
We should also point out that Jodie gave up a lucrative career as a lawyer in San Francisco to run her dead uncle's failing
Convenience store
She
store
didn't want that
business
high-paced life.
in Paradise.
Yeah, I'd do anything to get the fuck out of San Francisco too.
Her business plan was hilarious. And as we have all familiarized ourselves with business plans recently, her just being like, opening the book and being like, here's the business plan that you need to do.
And Sawyer's just like, nah.
It's just graphs.
Grass and charts.
Yeah.
Colored prints from FedEx. All right, let's do final thoughts. Vader, give it a rating.
A rating? So I said that I liked it better than the last movie, which I gave a 1.5. So I guess I'll go 2 stars just for fun. Because no, don't get me, this movie's bad. It's a bad movie. Okay, it's a terrible fucking movie. But at least it knows it's a bad movie, and for that I will give it the extra half star. It's you know, if you're into Tremors, watch it. Learn about the ass blasters, and then you'll never have to watch it again. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right, 2 stars. Jude, take it away.
Okay. Mixed emotions. It is definitely a better movie than the sequel. I don't think I liked it more than the sequel, though. Also, I feel like this movie is the equivalent, and I don't know that you guys will get this analogy, but the ladies will, if there are any out there. It's the equivalent of the guy who's like, yeah, he's a cool guy, friendship-wise, but you would never date him. The ladies know what I'm talking about. Or the gays, if we have any of those. It's not a good movie. It's not.
What?
We probably don't.
I don't know. Vader's a very sexy man.
I'm very sexy.
They call him a bear.
Hey man, my best friends are gay.
This is 2 blasts of asses out of 5
Not that there's anything wrong with
blasts
that.
of asses.
Sounds like a porno.
Not there's anything wrong with that. Oh my God, Jude. Kadish, give a rating.
All right, so this is the longest movie in the Tremors franchise, and you can tell because it feels way too long.
It does.
They were trying to do a lot with it.
Yeah. I feel like all the Tremors movies shouldn't be any longer than 90 minutes. But around the time that they discover the ass blasters in this movie is when it starts to kind of like overstay its welcome. Like everything up to that point, I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. You know, the government people come in and Burt's all like, fuck the government. And, they start pulling the eminent domain bullshit. And that's always been like Burt's like greatest fear is the government come in and just like take all of his shit. It's completely unrealistic that like they'd send like 3 guys from the government to like handle these endangered creatures to begin with. So there's a lot of stuff that's wrong with this movie. But one of the interesting things is that, so in this movie, Burt kind of comes to the forefront as the main character. And after this movie is when they launched the TV series, the first TV series, which starred Burt, and it went for like 13 episodes, I want to say. And I really want to check out the TV series because I've never seen it. But then after the TV series was over, they went back and started doing more movies with Jamie Kennedy and stuff. So this movie was kind of like a backdoor pilot for like the TV show. And I think that this movie actually got a lot of things right. Like I liked them going back to the original location of Paradise, or Perfection, I should say. And
you're confusing it with Paradise, Nevada, which is very close to where we live.
Exactly. But I like that they brought back all the original characters and got the original actors to reprise their role. I like the bits about like the tourist traps where it's like at the end, like they capture an ass blaster and everyone comes out and it's like, oh, look, a Tremors. And it's like, no, man, they're called Graboids. and in fact, there's even a great scene where like there's this tourist, this woman and her kid, and they take a picture with Burt, who's just like not having any of it. And the woman's actually Michael Gross's real life sister. And she gets like the character's name wrong and all this stuff, and Burt just like is seething the entire time. It's kind of funny, but overall, like this movie, I feel like it was a better sequel than Tremors 2, and I feel like they should have probably just skipped right to this one.
Yeah, this should have been the sequel.
Yeah, this should have been the direct sequel to it, and it would have been nice if they could have gotten like Fred Ward to come back or something like that. But I like that Burt is the focus of this. Again, it's not a good movie, but I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it watching it, at least up until like the second half where it overstays its welcome. So I'm going to give it a solid 5 ass blasts, or I should say 2 ass blasts out of 5.
My God.
I was like,
I almost flipped the table.
You know what? What is this town called?
Perfection.
Perfection.
Perfection reminds me of. It reminds me of this weird little movie set, old mining town.
It's by Nelson's Landing.
Nelson.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Nelson, Nevada. If you've never been there and if you come around, it's worth the 35, 40 minutes.
45 minutes outside of town.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
you need to go.
You'd love it.
We just need to take you out there.
Pod
It's
trip.
fun.
Yeah,
Pod trip.
for sure. There's old.
On the way to Area 51.
There's like crashed airplanes and shit.
You know what else I want to do? I want to do the natural warm springs or
Oh, down by the river?
in a van.
That's one fucking hell of a hike. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nelson has this store there.
That's just something I want to do. I'm not saying.
I'm like, you ain't gonna get these two guys doing that hike.
No.
You gotta like climb up ropes and shit.
Nelson got famous for that Kevin Costner movie that he made with Nick Cage.
Really?
With the Elvises. What was that one called?
3,000 Miles to Graceland.
3,000 Miles to Graceland had something
It's
to do
not a
with
bad
Nelson.
movie.
Yeah, and
Courtney Cox is in that, right?
and there's a really funky store there where you can buy like alien skulls and shit and rattlesnake beads and all kinds of weird funky shit. Yeah, it's fun. So, but yeah, check it out, Nelson, Nevada. If you ever
Wait, is that store real? That's a real store?
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for
Well, you didn't give it a rating.
2 stars for me.
2 stars.
No final thoughts?
No, it's good. I've talked about it enough. It's 2 stars. It's better than the second one.
No, salt.
No,
I said no rating.
no rating.
final thoughts.
It's 2 stars. It's better than the second, but not by much.
2, fuck off. Stay salty. Bye.
The way, yeah, I'm done. I'm capped out. We got like 3 more movies to review after this. I'm fucking tired.
We do?
And a meetup later.
Yeah, in our meetup.
I did a nap. All right, V, where can they find you on the socials, bud? Drink first.
Pirate hooch. Arr.
Arr. Arr. Rum and Capri Sun. Yeah. You can find me at where?
I don't know. Matt Vader 74 on Twitter and the important social medias.
And a bottle of rum.
That's the place.
Okay, cool.
Where can they find Jude?
At I am Jude Juju. And go to thevoiceofjude.com. She's got a couple of new audiobooks out. If you're feeling steamy, check them out.
Okay, but I'm working on something right now that I love.
Wait, I'm so excited.
And I don't have to do any sex scenes.
Whoa. You have stuff where you do sex scenes?
Yeah, dude.
You know I do.
I know. I need like links. Okay.
Okay.
I need some good script material.
Audiobooks.com is my latest steamy one. And you can find me on Audible under June Aaron, AARON, My steamy shit.
Ron.
The last book I did, I did a dual narration, and they sent me the email like, okay, we're done, we're wrapped, blah, blah, blah. Here's the info. And instead of my pseudonym, June Aaron, with an A, it was Jude Aaron with an A. And I was like, fuck it, close enough.
As long as the check clears.
I didn't even say anything. Like, oh, you fucked that up. I was just like, whatever. Fine.
As long as you got paid.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I'll see you for book 2.
Kadish, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter and Truth Social. And you can also check me out at kadishbooks.com. And if you'd be so kind, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast and Spotify. We need 200 of those suckers in order to get accredited on Rotten Tomatoes as official movie reviewers, so every little bit helps.
Yeah, but we only need 50 more. So you, 49 of your best friends.
Steal your mom's phone and give it a 5-star rating.
The hell we will bring down on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
So much fun.
Unless you really like Rotten Tomatoes, then we'll be like, cutesy best friends with them.
No.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
I'm on Twitter at salty
Underscore.
What is my Twitter account?
Salty underscore nerd.
Yeah. Well, that's this.
Salty.
That's the official account. Doesn't matter. All right, guys.
I don't know. He's there.
Stay salty.
Oh my God. Yeah, it'll be in the notes.
It'll be in the description below.